When was the last time you told yourself that you loved yourself, that you were proud of yourself, or you thought highly of yourself? Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, then that means it's not in line, which means it is not for you, so don't force it. As well as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In today's video, we're going to go over and discuss why it's so important to speak highly of yourself, to pour into yourself, and most importantly, learn to love yourself, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and certain things to be aware of. So starting off with the introduction, starting off with the first disclaimer, the main reason why you always need to speak highly of yourself is because if nobody believes in you, you won't believe in you. If you don't have support, if you don't have family, if you don't have friends, if you're somebody who needs external validation, you will never be satisfied in life. You have to realize that there's nothing wrong with people being proud of you, people appreciating you, people being grateful for you, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't genuinely feel that way about yourself. The second reason why it's so important to love yourself and to tell yourself that you love yourself is because you may have moments where you don't feel like you love yourself. You're going to go through things in life where sometimes you may be unsure, you may be uncertain, you may not have all the answers, you may not have all the resources. And in those moments, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do? How are you going to persevere? On this account, we motivate, inform, and educate. And we talk about positivity, healing, love, and abundance. You have to know that you're going to go through things in life. And you may not have everything figured out. Over here, we're not here to give up on ourselves. If you're choosing to subscribe to this account, if you're choosing to watch these videos, it's for a reason. You believe in yourself, or you know that you deserve what you want in life and you're allowed to. But until you take the time to identify why you lack the confidence, or why you're not telling yourself that you love yourself, or why you don't show yourself that you love yourself, you will never believe in yourself. You will never learn to love yourself. You will seek external validation. You will be a people pleaser. You will become envious, bitter, and compare yourself to people. And that's what you don't need to do. And that's going to be the third disclaimer. You cannot compare your love or your life to anybody else, because nobody's going to love you how you love yourself. Nobody is going to be you. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what you go through. That is the main reason why you have to learn how to speak highly of yourself and to pour into yourself. If you know you've struggled and suffered and you've gone through trials and tribulations, and even if you didn't, why would you not want to be the best version of yourself? Why would you not want to be there for you? If you know you don't have finances, if you know you don't have the resources, if you know you don't have community, why would you allow the world to tell you who you are when you know what it is that you go through and what you have? So the fourth disclaimer is knowing that there's nothing wrong with you loving yourself. There's nothing wrong with you telling yourself that you love yourself. There's nothing wrong with you thinking highly of yourself. The only people and places and things who are going to have an issue with you loving yourself, pouring into yourself, or acknowledging how proud you are, how much you love yourself, and how beautiful you are inside and out are people who don't feel that way. And if they're not able to take notes, if they're not able to learn from you, if they're not able to seek assistance, they don't need to be around you. You don't have to listen to them. When you listen to people more than you listen to yourself, you're not going to know who you are. You're not going to be able to think for yourself. The only time I recommend listening to people is if they're who you want to be like, if they live the life that you want to live, if you're able to be around them. Because sometimes you see people live a life, you don't know what they do behind closed doors. But if their energy resonates with you, if you feel a connection to them, or if you feel inspired by them, when you learn to love yourself and you learn to speak highly of yourself, you don't have to feel envious of others. You don't have to feel triggered. You don't have to feel challenged. You don't have to feel like, well, why does she have this? Why does he have that? When you can have that energy for yourself. So lastly, before we get into the recommendations, it's really important that when you are learning to love yourself, think highly of yourself, and speak with confidence, that you're being honest about who you are and who it is that you want to be and who you used to be. It's really important that the only time you look at your life from your past is to evaluate what helped you learn to love yourself better, and what caused you to not pour into yourself, and what caused you to not love yourself and to speak highly of yourself and to be proud of yourself. And that's going to lead us into the first recommendation. In order for you to start speaking positively about yourself, to think highly of yourself, to love yourself, You have to be honest about when you don't feel that way about yourself. If you're not somebody who is shown love or taught love or knows how to receive love, a lot of times you will deny love. And it's not because you don't want it, because you do want to be loved. When people go out their way to seek attention, whether it's negative or positive, it's for a reason. A lot of times it's because they were never shown attention from people that they want to be loved by or seek validation from. And that's the same thing with you. If you weren't taught and shown, you have to be able to be honest about why you want to receive the love in the first place. Why is it so important for you to seek validation or to get approval from certain people, places, and things? And it's not a bad thing when your intentions are genuine and when you have that energy for yourself. But if you don't learn to love yourself, other people giving you love, you'll deny it and you'll reject it. And I know from experience, I've met a lot of people, unfortunately, throughout my years of life who were not used to being loved, who were never shown love, who did not love themselves. And how do you know when somebody's not shown or taught love? Well, when you're nice to them, when you're kind to them, and they feel like it's too good to be true. When you hold the door for them and they don't say thank you. When they're entitled to your time, energy, and effort, not realizing that you're choosing to be there. When you give to them and they never give to you. When you're loving and you're kind and you mind your business and they want to disturb your peace, they want to distract you. When people try to provoke you, when people try to harass you. I'm telling you in real time, like, so many people who do not give themselves attention seek attention from other people. And some people will do any and everything just to get it. Don't let that be you. And if that is you, learn to appreciate people, learn to admire people, ask them questions, ask questions. How did you learn to love yourself? What do you do to pour into yourself? How can I start learning to love myself? But until you're able to ask questions, you have to acknowledge that maybe you don't. So the second recommendation is to figure out what you do love about yourself, because even though you may not have confidence internally or on a subconscious level, or you may not be the person who you want to be, you know what you want. You have desires. Even if you are somebody who is naturally intimidated, even if you have insecurities, even if you are envious, you know what you're envious of. Nobody envies people that they don't like. Now, if you're a real person, you could say that. If you're a fake person, you're not going to. You wouldn't be challenged and triggered by people living lives and doing things that you wanted to do if you didn't want them for yourself. So figure out what it is that you like and love about yourself. Figure out what you like and love that you want to experience that maybe you don't have the access to. Everything else that you don't like or love, that you don't want to receive, that doesn't make you feel loving, doesn't make you feel positive, you need to separate yourself from it. You need to remove yourself from it. Because the longer you surround yourself with people and places and things, and you watch people, places, and things, and you keep up with people, places, and things, and you invest into people and places and things who are not reciprocal of that energy, or who are not able to allow you to love yourself, you will have negative mindset. You will have a distorted image of reality. You will think low of yourself. You will be envious of people. You will compare yourself to people. The only reason why a lot of people are comparing themselves to people, and people have negative things to say, or people go out their way to seek attention, rather they're stalking, harassing, parasocial, just anything negative, is because they don't have love for themselves. They don't think highly of themselves, and they don't know the last time they told themselves that they love themselves. So the third recommendation, as you're being honest, when you are aware of your negative thoughts and your positive thoughts and what you like and what you need to work on and what you need to improve on, is figuring out what you can do with what you have. So like, for example, let's just say you want to do something that makes you feel good. Like, let me know an example. What are some things you like to do that make you feel good, but right now you're not able to do it? What can you do to either substitute that experience right now, or what can you do to work towards it? So for example, I love to eat. Eating is what I do. On days where I wasn't able to eat, I drank water. I did things to occupy my mind And I had days where I had to figure out, okay, even though I may not have been able to afford the things that I want to eat, I was able to figure out ways I could eat something. Because you know what you like. You have to take time to figure out who you are in order for you to figure out what it is that you love. And that's going to be the fourth recommendation. Spend some time with yourself. You make time for so many other people. When's the last time you made time for yourself? When's the last time you did something that you loved? Yes, it's okay to like certain things, but do you love it? And you'll know when you love something or someone, when you learn to obviously learn to love yourself, but you appreciate the value. You realize how it's affecting you. Love could be an emotion. Love can be an experience. Love could be a reality. Love could be a state of mind. Love could be a feeling. Love could be an adjective. Love could be a verb, something you do. It's whatever you want it to be. But most importantly, when you're learning to love yourself and others, you also want to learn how to be receptive. And that's the fifth and final recommendation. Before you want people to pour love into you, you must learn to pour love into yourself. Because a lot of times people say, oh, I want love, I want love, I want love. And then when people show them love, because you're not used to it, you deny it and you reject it. And I'm telling you from experience, a lot of people that I met, they were like, oh, I want love, I want love. It was there. But because they weren't used to it, they didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to treat it. They didn't know what to do. And a lot of times when you don't know how to handle something, when you don't know how to treat something, or when you're not used to it, you're going to either act a fool or you're going to take advantage of it. And then when you act a fool, it's going to be taken away. And when you take advantage of it, you'll no longer be able to have it. So work on yourself. Pour into yourself. I'm challenging you to create affirmations every single day and to say them to you. Whether you're in a good mood or you're in a bad mood, but it's really important to speak life into yourself. It's really important to tell yourself how much you love yourself and to show you how much you love yourself. If you love yourself, the things that you said that you like on your list, you need to be focusing on. Everything else that you don't love or you don't want to be in alignment with or that's not for you, you need to remove it. And how you go about doing that is holding yourself accountable, being honest, practicing. When you go through certain situations in your life, how you choose to handle it is going to be based off of how much you love yourself. And I'm speaking from experience. When I went through certain chapters and certain moments of my life, it wasn't because I didn't love myself. It was because I needed to continue to love myself and to pour into myself. But if you have moments where you're not loving yourself, that's the only reason why you react and responded the way that you did. But once you are no longer in those situations and you realize you weren't loving yourself, you weren't pouring into yourself, you will change and things will get better. There were moments in my life, like I said, not that I didn't love myself, but not realizing how much energy and effort I was pouring into things that did not need that much attention and energy and effort. And instead of me becoming bitter, and instead of me becoming miserable, instead of me being envious or comparing myself or to think less of myself, I just had to pull that energy back. I had to pull that time back. I had to realize, okay, if I love myself like I said I do, and I know I can love other people, I need that energy in return. There were times where I've poured, like I said, love into people and places and things, and because they didn't love themselves, I never got that energy back. So instead of me, like I said, being angry and pointing the finger and blaming them and huffing and puffing, I just snatched all my energy back and I just cut them all off. And now none of these people will ever have access to me. Because when you love yourself, you don't allow yourself to stay in certain situations or around certain people, places, and things who are draining you of your love or who don't allow you to love yourself out loud. Anybody who has a problem with you being you is simply not okay with themselves, and you shouldn't want to be around them anyways. And it doesn't matter who it is. Loving yourself is not a crime. Loving yourself is not selfish. Putting yourself first doesn't make you greedy. You're greedy when all you care about is yourself and you're okay with other people struggling and suffering. You're selfish when you know you have the resources and the tools to help and be there and support other people, but you don't want anybody else to have. That's totally different. That's not even the same thing. So whatever questions, whatever comments, whatever concerns that you have, make sure you're commenting down below, liking, engaging. If you want me to talk about this in real time, drop the word live on Instagram and on TikTok. I'll go over and discuss it. If not, book your service to your session. But you are loved. You're not alone. I love you. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.